You have to rebuild yourself if you want a different life. Like, you expect to be a loser with winning results, and it doesn't, like, your brain isn't getting the signal that your life is shit because you're shit. Excuse me, once again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if your life is not great, it's because you are messing up. That's the name of the game. But unsuccessful people, broke people, instead of looking at themselves in the mirror and assuming responsibility, they want to point it. Because it sucks to be like, hey, my life sucks because I suck. It's not easy. I get it 100%. However, when you win in life, hey, you're the first one to raise the hand and be like, hey, I did it. But with that same level of responsibility, you now can dictate what? Your behaviors. So just start inputting positive behaviors, man.
Yeah. Yeah, accountability, I think, is the most important and common trait I found amongst high performers. On accountability, actually, how far do you think that goes? Do you think you're responsible for not only your actions, but the actions of other people around you as well?
No. You're just responsible for what you do. You're responsible for how you act and how you react to situations that come your way. You'd be surprised how much a good attitude controls a situation, how much control you have of a room and environment based off of your behavior and your tendency. Somebody always sets the tempo, right? So are you responsible for how other people operate? No, not at all. But can you inspire people to operate a specific way? Absolutely.
We spoke earlier about positioning, right? There's one clip I saw that I really like the example that you gave about banks, right? And where the word bank comes from and where currency comes from, and positioning yourself correctly with the correct network. How do you think, how much do you think understanding money, understanding banks, understanding flow of things will change things for people?
So it's all about opportunity. You need to go to where the attention is to find opportunity. There's times in crypto where there's massive opportunity because that's where the attention is. So if you position yourself ahead of time, you're going to reap better rewards, or you're going to increase your odds of success. Why? Because you're just positioned better. If you're chasing after an opportunity, like you're chasing a stock that you weren't buying early and getting prepared for, you're chasing it, you're not going to have the same experience. You're not going to have the same level capture of opportunity. So positioning is key, and positioning is important because positioning gives you the ability to anticipate. Remember, we talked about pattern recognition. Pattern recognition lets you anticipate what's going to take place. You know the winter is coming, so you go a couple months before winter rolls around to get ready for what? For winter. Why? Because you know that there's a pattern. There's a pattern for everything in life. How the banks move money, there's a pattern for that. There's a pattern on when elections take place and how the markets react to those elections, how the markets react when different disasters take place. You can analyze patterns, and the best people that analyze patterns make the best predictions. It's all about predictions, because we talked about this idea of luck, right? And that luck doesn't exist. But what exists is your edge, or your probability. And you get your edge and your probability and your information from observation, from observing the things around you. Once you observe the things around you, you identify patterns and you place your bets towards that endeavor. When you start a business, let's say you want to launch an app, you're betting on user demand. You're betting on people still using the app store. You're betting on people downloading your product. If not, you wouldn't do it. But that's a bet. That's a calculated risk that you're taking based off of where you see the world headed. So if you can position yourself ahead of time and you get it right, you can win.
I think luck is interesting. I think luck, you can increase your surface area for luck, right? Like you said, through positioning, through putting more shots out, through picking up things that you wouldn't have picked up before, because new ideas tend, for me anyway, to come from questions I haven't asked before, or books I haven't read before, or people I haven't spoke to before. So I think luck it can be manufactured in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
In terms of business, again, how important is it for someone to understand how pivotal the vehicle they're in business changes their likelihood of success, or the ceiling in which they can succeed?
I mean, think about it. You want a path of least resistance to the top of the mountain. When people look at the money that they're making and then the amount of effort that it takes them to make that money, they're like, you know what, at least I worked hard for my money. Bro, money gets printed out of fucking thin air. You need to figure out how to make as much of it for the least amount of effort as possible. Why? Because there's dudes out there that are fucking printing it. I don't think you understand. They're literally printing it. Printing it, and you're out here working for it, slaving away. So you need to ask yourself, how can I get as much money as possible for the least amount of effort? So you need to start a business. You need to be able to understand how to arbitrage. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to market. These basic skills